One of my most anticipated games coming up, PayDay 3, just had a closed beta that I was able to playtest, and oh boy, I sure have a lot to talk about. Some of it positive, and some of it negative. But, to give some context, PayDay is one of my favorite games of all time. I've sunk just around 400 hours into PayDay 2, and I would say that I'm pretty well versed in the game. And although I've been cautiously optimistic with what we've been showing for PayDay 3, I can't say that I wasn't at least a little bit hyped as I marched into the closed beta. But before we begin, I just want to give some quick disclaimers that obviously this is just the beta, and chances are that 80% of the things I'm going to talk about are going to be addressed by the planned September release date, so please keep that in mind. Now, let's dive into this.
That's a dozer! That's a dozer! No, no, no. I threw a grenade on top of you.
No! That actually worked!
Oh no!
Oh no! To begin, let's start with the things I didn't like.
It's not good.
When you first boot up the game, you are immediately greeted with the game telling you to register with Starbreeze Nebula. Already a bad sign of what's to come. I mean, we already know that you're gonna need internet access to play PayDay 3, which is pretty bad. I mean, when that solar storm hits and it kills the internet, PayDay 3 won't be able to be played. Well, I guess it always says PayDay 2. But once you're past that, I must say that this opening screen does look pretty clean, although mostly generic when you compare to games like Call of Duty.
You got that Nicki Minaj.
Moving past that and into the loadout section, and it's mostly clean, with I guess the only thing worth noting being that the skill tree is weirdly unorganized. In PayDay 2, the skill tree is divided into 5 different categories, all relating to the core aspects of your build, but here it's all kinda just there, with you needing to go over and read each little square just to know what you're investing in. I'm sure that this will be fixed by launch, but it is a little weird how each skill line is kinda just plastered there, with not even a name to label each line. The research aspect is a bit more interesting, with you needing to level up certain parts of the tree by doing related actions in-game to gain experience. A fun idea, as it also seems like you're not forced to carry previous skills for later upgrades, although I'm not entirely sure of this fact. Back to the things I didn't like. I also saw that only the beginning skills were aceable, but like I said earlier, I'm sure that most of this stuff would be worked on and improved at launch. But there does seem to be a lot of skills, even in the beta, which does give me a lot of hope for the future, as one of the best parts of PayDay is all the wacky combinations and builds you can make through seemingly hundreds of skills, guns, and equipment. But I must know, how many guns are here in the beta? Oh. There's like 8. Huh. And not that many masks or drip either. Well, hopefully there'll be a lot more variety at launch, because this does somewhat disappoint me. Although, to be fair, PayDay 2 does have so many guns due to DLC, and it does seem like PayDay 3 is gonna follow the exact same formula. I'll get into gun customization a bit later, but now let's get into the actual game, which is the only single heist available for the beta, and honestly, it's not bad. The heist, No Rest for the Wicked, is the same bank heist shown to promotion material, and although it is a pretty good intro heist, there is something I want to bring up. Replayability. You see, once I played my first 2 games, I realized just how linear and stealth this heist can be. Well, at least too loud. I can't really speak for stealth since...
Oh, he's coming for me. He's coming for me. Oh, I'm gonna get detained.
Go on the roof. Go on the roof. Bro! Our fucking teammate just fucking straight up shot a camera.
Randoms aside, I do think that the lack of customization within this heist is a massive waste of potential, as let's take the PayDay 2 heist, the Golden Queen Casino, into consideration. This heist in particular has some of the greatest heist customization in the entire series. Just look into the pre-playing menu sense it all, as this feature is something I'm praying to be added into PayDay 3, as the current pre-planning is just as simple as it was for the early heist in PayDay 2. I know that not every heist has to be this grand, but I still think that some sort of pre-planning or variety should be added into this game. The reason why I want this form of pre-planning back is just due to the unique trade-offs that you can do to adhere to your personal liking and playstyle. For example, in the Golden Green heist, you can use your favorites to make the BFD easier to manage but take a longer time escaping or setting it up. Or you can get the fastest escape option possible, at the cost of having a harder to manage BFD and setup time. Or you can just start with the loud entrance with already given C4, skipping the entire early phase of the loud heist and allowing the BFD to immediately drop. On stealth, you do have some cool options that you can do, but I must admit that the stealth on this heist is a bit lackluster. These small tweaks are the features I would love to see coming to PayDay 3, as I think that with the more co-op focused gameplay, this kind of pre-planning would make the higher difficulties much more bearable. But this version of pre-planning given is just disappointing, as each loud heist plays out exactly the same, with the only variable being where Bile drops a thermite or where the van would be parked. This lack of customization is easily the biggest flaw of the heist, as I think that'd be really cool to have some unique pre-playing abilities, like maybe opting in for a drill instead of thermite, or having the ability to place already stacked thermite so you don't have to wait for Bile, or be able to choose a closer or different escape option. I don't know, just anything to spice up the replayability factor of this heist. But that's really all the negative things I had to say. Besides the usual bugs and weird features to be expected with Starbreeze, that's really about it. I mean, I could mention the graphics or animations or something, but I'm not really the kind of guy to care for those kind of things. Now, let's get into the good. Let's start with the elephant in the room. This game is actually hard. In PayDay 2, the early difficulties are basically a joke, as it doesn't take into like at least Mayhem for the game to actually start throwing punches, but even then you're still a one-man army mowing down hundreds of brain-dead cops. But here, they weren't kidding. You really do need some level of teamwork in this co-op game. Even on Just Hard, the main difficulty that I played on, you couldn't really mess around towards the end. I mean, there's no OP perk decks, no OP skills, no crazy guns, smarter AI, and worst of all, no sprint jump crouching. It's really a sad day. Where were you when sprint jump crouching died? I was at house, eating Dorito, when phone ring. Sprint jump crouching is kill. No. What's that? Your entire party only brings ammo bags? You're dead.
15.
You try to bum rush objectives? You're dead. You try to abandon your party members? You're dead. You want to leave no witnesses and kill civvies? No money. The special heroes are also, well, special. Tasers and snipers are mostly the same, and the new grenade troop is somewhat underwhelming, but my god, the new shields, dozers, and cloakers are so much more formidable now. This combined with a smarter AI makes the enemy somewhat terrifying to go against, as I can't even imagine how the higher difficulties fare. But I will say, the devs making it so that the health levels remain the same across all difficulties is such an amazing addition, as my god, those cops on Death Wish and Death Sentence were absolute bullet sponges. All of these are positives though, as there's been absolute godsends from Overkill. Stealth seems much more interesting and fleshed out now, negotiation is a pretty cool feature, the cops aren't that stupid anymore, and the devs have finally been liberated from the diesel engine. But, jumping back a bit, the upgrade system for weapons, although basically copied from other first-person shooters, is vastly superior than just rolling for attachments at the end of each heist or spending vast amounts of Continental coins just to get what you want. In the end, these new positive additions to the game give me great hope for a good launch. And with 8 planned heists at launch followed by a pretty controversial seasonal edition, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I'm very intrigued to see how this game will fare post-launch. But, most importantly, besides all these quality of life improvements, does PayDay 3 feel like PayDay? Yes.
Motherfucker. Fuck. It's a nutsack. Fuckers. Shit on a stick.
Overall, the PayDay 3 beta was pretty fun, and I do believe that PayDay 3 has a great foundation to build off of, and I'm very interested to see how the other 7 heists will be at launch, who will come back, god, please sign Cryptic Jacket, what will be improved upon, and see what absolute stupid and crazy builds this community will make, as, to put it bluntly, we will be playing. Also, why does the gold edition cost like $90? Like, come on man.